Assalamu alaikum, Nazreen. Welcome to another episode of the Cricket World Cup 2023 World Cup Experience presented to you by Warriors Channel. और आज हमारे साथ फिर से जैन मौजूद हैं from Lahore. तो उनसे कुछ बातचीत करते हैं about the last few matches that have occurred. और बड़े interesting matches हुए हैं. तो welcome, Zain.
Thank you, Dil bhai. Glad to be back. Yeah.
All right. और आप फैंटेसी में भी एंजॉय कर रहे हैं अपने आप को व्हाइट ऑन ग्रीन में. You're leading still.
Yeah. So far, so good. Not gonna count my chickens yet, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the moves and
Yeah.
future plans as well.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get directly into it. तो सबसे
Mhm.
पहला मैच जो मैंने डिस्कस करना था ऑस्ट्रेलिया वर्सेस श्रीलंका था कल.
Yeah.
और श्रीलंका का जो मतलब अच्छा प्लान था कि टॉस जीत के बैटिंग करनी
Hmm.
एंड दे वांटेड टू पोस्ट अप अ गुड टोटल. ऑस्ट्रेलिया हैड लॉस्ट देयर फर्स्ट टू मैचेस बट सो हैड श्रीलंका. तो एक पॉइंट पर तो बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग था. 125 फॉर नो लॉस. देयर ओपनिंग ओपनर्स वर हैविंग अ बॉल आउट देयर और ऑस्ट्रेलिया को कुछ पता नहीं था कि क्या हो रहा है उनके साथ. एंड देन ऑल ऑफ अ सडन द ओपनिंग वेंट एंड
Yeah.
फिर क्या हुआ? व्हाट हैपेंड?
Yeah, it's been a weird trend last couple of games. Like you saw Afghanistan, then you saw Pakistan, of course, is India. They got off to such a good start, and you'd think a one down पे Kusal Mendes aa raha hai, and he's been their star player. And I was very confident that he would kick on, and they had such a great platform for the batsmen to come. वो Samara Vikrama bhi hai, he's really good as well. And it's just Zampa. I think he wasn't really. I don't think it was exceptional bowling as well. It was just it was just weird shot selection by the batsman and bus वो they couldn't arrest the slump एकदम से like wickets गिरी हैं and just yeah Australia kept chipping away and I thought that this was a really good chance for Sri Lanka to put some pressure on Australia having lost the first two games but they just made it very easy for them.
So yeah, the collapse was 10 for 84 or
Yeah.
209 all out. मतलब विकेटें गिर रही हैं. There was no consolidation by the
Mhm.
middle lower order और ऑस्ट्रेलिया फिर छा गई एकदम से. एडम जैम्पा ने इतनी कोई खास बॉलिंग तो अच्छी नहीं कराई लेकिन he got
Uh,
4 wickets. तो
yeah, it was like you said, it wasn't anything exceptional, but bus line and length consistent रखी and they got wickets.
और ऑस्ट्रेलिया को भी डिफिकल्टी हुई थी एक पॉइंट पर.
Mhm.
ऐसा लग रहा था कि आई मीन दे लॉस्ट 2 विकेट्स. मतलब स्मिथ भी आउट हो गया जल्दी और I mean, it was difficult for them to chase. Not a very convincing win. They got it in the end.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
Mitchell Marsh और फिर जॉस इंग्लिस ने स्कोर किया और फिर मैक्सवेल का कैमियो.
Yeah, वो Smith का I believe last game में he वो जो उसका dismissal था that was very questionable and Warner का जो था इस मैच में
इस मैच में
yeah that was also a very questionable decision but वो those two quick wickets उसके बाद थोड़ा pressure आ गया था ऑस्ट्रेलिया पे and वो मधुशंका he was bowling really well
no.
really well and yeah the problem with Sri Lanka is that without Hasaranga I
हाँ
feel like they don't have the same bowling threat.
ये
So वो ठीक शाना है उनके पास मधुशंका है Well Lage he's
मतलब
still
Lage
young.
hasn't performed in this World Cup so far.
Yeah, he hasn't performed at all. Well, I feel
No.
like he's very young and these pitches they aren't as friendly as Asia Cup में you saw and so he's been struggling with that and वो Lahiru Kumara जो है he's very expensive.
हाँ तो
Yeah,
अच्छा
so
bowling threat नहीं है. And श्रीलंका
hmm,
now is at 0-3. ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने अब comeback एक तरह से on points तो कर लिया and
hmm,
they have negated some of their net run rate. So I
yeah.
think it's going to be interesting now. And Sri Lanka has to start winning matches, otherwise they're quickly out of this.
Yeah. I think in the next match, Sri Lanka will probably be a do or die match. If
Hmm.
they lose another one, I think that's it for them.
That's it for
Yeah.
them. ठीक है.
Australia के लिए तो there's a lifeline with
Yeah.
recent upsets, so I think they're still well in it.
And we'll talk about that lifeline because that lifeline has come today in a very interesting match that has occurred between Netherlands and South Africa, which has been one of the big upsets, I would
Mm.
say.
Yeah, insane. I think on par with England, Afghanistan, if not a bigger upset.
Uh-huh.
And they had some history with this one as well. Like in the T20 World Cup, Netherlands got an important win against them for Pakistan. And again, this time they were under the cosh. I thought they were on the verge of a collapse. They were like 100 for six, I believe, in Netherlands.
140 for 7 भी हो गए थे.
Yeah, and
And then Scott Edwards came in.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. They just never really got going at the start. They just kept, every time someone got relatively set, they would lose a wicket. But then वो end पे Scott Edwards and वो Van der Merwe जो है,
Yeah. Good
they got set.
rear guard
Yeah,
partnership हुई उनकी.
yeah,
और
that was
in
very
the end,
important.
मतलब वो जो Aryan Dutt and his 3 6s, they got them to a very respectable
Yeah.
43 over, यानी कि reduced match total of
Mhm.
245. It was becoming difficult. I thought momentum had shifted by then.
Yeah, I also read a couple of comments and I was watching towards the end of the first innings, the South African fielders, like you
हाँ,
could tell by their faces, they were like shook, like
yeah,
they didn't understand what was happening. They were a bit rattled.
rattled हाँ,
And
और वो फिर बड़ा
yeah,
difficult हो
it
जाता
just
है.
yeah, it just carried on into the next innings and they
And
needed
then, yeah, I mean, two very good, solid picks for the last 2 rounds. Both of them, Quinton de Kock, Aiden Markram, gone.
yeah.
और फिर 4 wickets down and pressure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And especially in the World Cup, given South Africa's history, you just need to apply that little bit of pressure and then you can really test their other batsmen resolve.
Hmm.
And Bavuma, though he's been struggling the whole World Cup, but Quinton de Kock, then uske baad Rassie,
Rassi
then
की
they had
reverse sweep,
Markram,
reverse flick.
Klassen. Yeah, I honestly wasn't worried as long as Klassen and Miller were
Miller was
on the
in.
crease. Yeah, I was still comfortable that okay, South Africa will pull this out. But
Yeah,
then after Klassen, that was a very soft dismissal as well. But after his dismissal, yeah, then I was like, okay, Netherlands have a real chance here.
ठीक. So, I mean, Miller जो है, I mean, he stood there and he got
Mhm.
some support, well, with courtesy for a bit and thought कि वो शायद थोड़ा शिफ्ट कर ले, लेकिन एक एक कैच उसका ड्रॉप हुआ बड़ा क्रूशियल बाउंड्री पर
Mhm.
वांडर की बॉलिंग पे, एंड Dutch really, came through with it. They got their wicket, and I thought that would be the end. Miller, और उसके बाद यही हुआ, कर्टसी की भी विकेट गिरी, and then the
Yeah.
final, finishes.
ये जो yeah Van Beek था, I was noticing his the bounce was very uneven
Mm-hmm.
and his a couple of his deliveries he had clean bowled and Meekeren as
हाँ,
well, Van Meekeren. The ball just died. Yeah.
yeah.
So
वो क्रॉस सीम कहते हैं कि वो यूज कर रहा है,
hmm,
जिसकी वजह से sometimes it doesn't bounce that much because it doesn't hit
hmm,
the seam. तो
yeah.
that has been something in this World Cup के काफी लोग अब ट्राई कर रहे हैं और काफी
Yeah, it's been
फर्क
very
पड़ता है
effective.
क्रॉस सीम बॉलिंग. So I mean,
Hmm.
Dutch must be delighted, just like Afghanistan on that day, and
Yeah, and
now they've got
incredible.
the points.
Yep, I feel like for both of these teams, I mean, more so of Netherlands, they weren't really expecting much. Like
Mm.
they were gonna give it all. It's basically like a free hit for them.
Yeah.
And now with that win, like they'll be just over the moon, and they're gonna approach every game with the devil may care attitude, I think. And let's
Uh,
see. Yeah, Afghanistan be very dangerous. They
yeah.
have a couple of games in Chennai, so
Yeah.
that will be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is difficult to probably, I mean, let's see how they react with South Africa. The next match is also a crunch match. I mean, England in
Mhm.
Mumbai on the weekend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not easy. So, I mean,
Mhm.
that's another difficult match for them. But I think they've got 4 points. लेकिन थोड़ा सा dent हुआ है net run rate. लेकिन महाराज ने
Mhm.
मेरे ख्याल में end में बचा लिया net run rate को थोड़ा सा. इतनी
Yeah, yeah.
beat नहीं हुई. Anything about tomorrow's encounter now? Because we've talked about Afghanistan as well. And they play New
Mhm.
Zealand, one of your teams and
Yeah.
choices. And every time you're previewing or reviewing their teams, what do you think?
Yeah, I really like New Zealand and Chennai pe to it's gonna be a very good contest, I feel, because Afghanistan, so we've seen what they can do.
Yeah.
And New Zealand have Santner and they also have Ish Sodhi, but he hasn't been playing this tournament. but he can do a lot of damage. And this New Zealand ka middle order, they play spin really well.
Mm.
Phillips, Latham. So that's gonna be interesting to see how they both clash against each other. And
Okay,
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
that's fine. Well, who will you pick for tomorrow then? Final pick.
Uh, I would have to go with New Zealand still.
All right.
Yep,
So
four and
we've
four.
got Zan's picks, inshallah. We'll see how it goes tomorrow in Chennai. But today, an unbelievable reduced over match from
Mhm.
Dharmsala, where South Africa is defeated. So inshallah, we'll keep you posted. Or thank you very much, Zan, for coming into the studios again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Will be happy to be back.
Right. Okay. So thank you for that. And we'll end
Right.
it here.
Take care.